All right, so my name is Michael DeLu, and I'm going to be your host today for Pull Up the Tape. With that being said, thank you very much for tuning in, for tapping in. Let me stop saying every day I'm blessed to do this. I'm so happy because I really do love doing this. Like, any of you guys who know me, I'm energetic, I'm loud, I'm extra, and I love sports. So anytime I get to do this, I just wake up every day excited, no matter how early I have to get up to do this, because I have to get up really early, especially on Sunday when my team is playing really early. So I have to knock this out before that. Whew. Let me take a couple breaths. I'm excited. I'm very excited. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to get into my intro, and I'm going to get into my script, and I'm going to get into the politics of today's show. With that being said, and I've said with that being said multiple times, but all right, with that being said, my name is Michael DeLu, and I'm going to be your host today for Pull Up the Tape. If you're watching this podcast via my YouTube channel, thank you very much. And if you're listening to this podcast via any of the platforms that Anchor distributes my podcast on, thank you very much as well. If you're listening to this podcast, do me a favor and share this podcast with anybody you know that loves sports. It only takes a couple seconds out of your day. Hey, I just listened to this new podcast, Pull Up the Tape. It's really good. It's really good. Word of mouth is the best form of promotion, in my opinion. And yeah, so if you could do that, I would really appreciate that. And if you're watching this video via my YouTube channel, Pull Up the Tape, do me a favor and like this video. I think I got 5 likes like I asked for in the last one. So I'm going to try and do it again. Let's get 5 likes on this video. Let's share this video with anybody you know that loves sports, okay? It's Sunday. It's NFL Sunday, so I'm going to be busy today watching all the games and as well as soccer and just a bunch of other things. So with that being said, let's get into today's show. So because today's Sunday, first thing I want to do is recollect what happened yesterday, all right? And in yesterday's episode, I talked about how today's game is a must-win. Yes, how Game 3 is a must-win game for the Celtics, okay? And lo and behold, they were able to pull it out. And I'm not surprised, pull out the W. And I'm not surprised at all in any – I don't think anyone is actually surprised. I mean, when you have a team as talented as Boston that even gets to the Eastern Conference Finals, winning a game shouldn't seem as something that's impossible to do. But it seemed pretty impossible after the first two games. But not impossible, but Boston squandered 2 leads and just I don't know. Just it looked like things were falling apart. But I knew if they were able to lock in and tighten up, they'd be able to get things done. So the Celtics defeated the Heat 117-106, all right? And one of the first things I want to say is it was a very, very balanced effort across the board from Boston and their players. Boston had 4 players scoring double digits. Not scoring double digits, score above 20 points, okay? And obviously those four players were Jaylen Brown, who led the way with 26, Jason Tatum, who had 25, Kemba Walker, who had 21, and Marcus Smart, who had 20 points, okay? And their bench kind of wasn't really too existent, but hey, regardless, they still got the win. And a guy who I feel like whose presence wasn't, you couldn't really see it in the stat sheet, but you could tell that with him in the offense and him on the court, it allowed Boston to flow more and play better as a cohesive unit and play more efficiently offensively. And that's Gordon Hayward. Let me stop saying getting Gordon Hayward back was extremely crucial in Boston being able to like break down Miami's defense. Well, not Miami's defense, and especially their 2-3 zone. Having an extra person out there that the defense had to account for that could actually shoot, dribble, get to the basket, and create his own shot made it easier for Boston to swing the ball around from the strong side to the weak side and vice versa, and it made it easier for them to kick and penetrate. And I want to give another thing, Boston's defensive intensity in the second quarter, which is when they built their lead, was lights out. Jaylen Brown was strapping, Jason Tatum was strapping. They were in the passing lanes. I specifically remember one specific play that I actually posted on Pull Up the Tape. Specific play that I posted on Pull Up the Tape. Gordon Hayward was guarding Goran Dragic, and I guess he had read the scouting report and knew what move Dragic was about to do next. So he blocks the shot, and that block shot leads to a transition bucket for Jason Tatum, and he flushes it with the stupid jam. All right, so stuff like that was how Boston was able to do what they did, and they were able to be. They they played tough defensively in the second quarter, which is what allowed them to gain that lead. And I mean, for the most part, they never really squandered the lead until like probably towards the end. But again, the series is definitely not over. I'm looking. I don't know exactly what's going to happen next game, but I look for Miami to try and respond. One thing I will say about Miami is I was watching the game yesterday, and I noticed, I was like, I haven't really heard Jimmy Butler's name at all in the second half. I wondered exactly why that happened, because I'm not saying he didn't show up or anything like that. He was non-existent. I'm not sure. It didn't seem like he played. Let me check his minutes. It didn't seem like he played extensive minutes in the second half. Oh, it says he's played 37 minutes. It's weird. I didn't really see. Didn't really hear his name get discussed by the analysts and play-by-play people as the game was going on in the second half. I apologize. So again, Boston wins 117-106. Series is now 2-1. Thing about this, the next game is actually on Wednesday. It's crazy. So Boston gets 4 days off. I'm not too sure exactly what happened right there with the scheduling, because I mean, in a normal situation, I feel like they would have played on Monday. Yeah, because the Lakers play tonight. Lakers play Sunday night, which is later tonight, and Boston will play the next day. But Boston doesn't play until Wednesday, which, hey, to each its own. So a well-deserved rest. Boston played great, and I'm not surprised. I mean, these teams are pretty much evenly matched, and not even evenly matched. Like Boston has led a good amount. If you want to talk about tally and total of minutes of leading within the series, I'm pretty sure Boston has led more than Miami. But in the fourth quarter, Boston did have a lot of costly turnovers, and didn't execute their offense in the most precise way possible, and they had bad execution when it came down to the stretch. But all that was corrected yesterday as Boston was able to piece things together and get shit going. But props to them for winning. I want to give some props to some of the Heat players who did show up. Bam Adebayo had 27 points and 16 rebounds. Bam's a monster. Like, Bam is a monster. Tyler Hero, 22 points. Like, yo, Tyler Hero is going to be an issue. Like, John Calipari said the two most talented players he's ever coached. And I don't know if this is actually true. He said the two most talented players he's ever coached were Tyler Hero and Jamal Murray. It's funny because both those dudes are eating in the playoffs right now. But I don't know how true that is, because John Calipari has coached some really, really talented dudes, including Anthony Davis. Who else? Devin Booker. Yeah, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis. I mean, some elite dudes. But he said those two specifically, and it's crazy to think, and even Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but it's crazy to think these two guys right now, they're eating like there's no tomorrow. Tyler Hero had 22. Actually, Tyler Hero and Bam led Miami in scoring. Goran Dragic had a off night with 11 and 5. He's actually Miami's leading scorer in the playoffs. He's averaging 22 points, so he scored half that yesterday in the game. So not really Miami's best effort offensively and defensively, but I do look for them to bounce back. And the series, like I said, the series is far from over. Just because Boston won this game doesn't mean anything, but that doesn't mean they're gonna automatically tie up the next game or anything like that, or automatically tie up the series. Boston is gonna have to fight to do that. But I will commend Boston for playing lights out and being able to pull out the win, and I will commend the Heat players that did show up to the game, that did put their best foot forward. Bam was all over the glass, putbacks, lobs, screening and rolling, just great defense. Like he is him. He's him. So it's Tyler Hero. Okay, but great. This is going to be a great series. I hope Boston is able to tie it up, because I want to get as much basketball out of this as possible. The more, the better. The more, the merrier. Yeah. So To my next topic. So UFC Fight Night 11 was yesterday, and the main event was Covington versus Woodley. Okay, I'm gonna get into that, and I'm getting to get into another fight. Those are only 2 fights I'm concerned about talking about, and yeah. So Woodley and Covington. Sheesh, 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 sheesh. Man, honestly, Tyron Woodley got his ass beat. He got his ass beat like he stole something from the wrong house. Like, it was embarrassing to watch. Like, very embarrassing to watch, to be honest. I'm a Tyron Woodley fan. I've been a fan of his for a while. He's always been making noise and just doing what a lot of people didn't do in his weight class. And, like, he has one of the greatest runs as a champion in UFC history. But I think that's come to an end now. I think he's lost his last 3 fights. He lost to Usman, which is not a bad loss. He lost to Gilbert Burns, and then he lost to Colby Covington. So that's 3 losses in a row. It could honestly be 4. I think it could be 4 in a row. I can't remember. I don't know if he fought anybody between the first time he fought Usman and the second time he fought Usman, because he lost both. He lost his title. Then I'm not sure if he fought somebody and then got a rematch. But I don't think he did. So he's probably has 4. He has 4 losses in a row at this point. And this is all in. I think this is in about 2 years. 2 years. So I honestly think it might be time for Tyron Woodley to hang him up. Not hang him up, but maybe take him to Bellator, because it doesn't seem like he can compete with the elite in his division anymore. Because he can't, honestly. I mean, other people he's beat have been either champions or contending for a championship. I mean, Gilbert Burns is going to fight Usman later, either I think it's next month or the month after that. And then I believe Colby Covington is going to get the winner between those 2 individuals. So I don't know what's next for Tyron Woodley, but yeah. Let me get into this fight though. So Colby Covington gets the job done via TKO in the 5th round. Like I said, he completely destroyed Woodley. He beat his ass like he stole something from him. Colby Covington won every single round, convincingly too. Like, convincingly. Like, when I don't want to little bro Tyron Woodley, but it was something like that. And the crazy thing is Tyron Woodley looked bad the last time he fought too. Sheesh. Like, oh my God, come on, bro. So he got Lil Broed again. Covington won. Like I said, Covington won every single round, in my opinion. I mean, you can give him, maybe there's an argument that Woodley won round 2, because in round 2 he was able to get a takedown. But even in that round 2, he was still outstriked 23-7. So and these weren't just baby shots. These were quality shots, and then these were some knees and elbows in the clinch. So, sheesh. And then the fourth round. Oh my God. Y'all listen. Peep this. In the 4th round, he was completely dominated. Listen to this figure. This probably doesn't even sound like it could actually be true, but it happened. In the 4th round, Tyron Woodley was dominated. He was outstriked. Are you ready for it? 113-2. 113-2. You let a man hit you 113 times in 5 minutes, and you only hit him twice? Are you kidding me? 113-2. And the craziest part about this is these are both quality fighters. This isn't one UFC dude and one amateur. These are both quality title contenders. Well, I can't even call Tyron Woodley a quality title contender anymore. He looks like a bum. He's fought elite dudes and he's looked crazy. Usman smashed him back to back. Gilbert Burns smashed him, and now he lost to this. I'm gonna call Colby Covington. He lost to him. So it's I don't know. Like I said, I don't know where Woodley goes after this. He got dominated, like bad, like dominated, like even even the final one of the pictures in the scene from when they stopped the fight, he's just laid out on the floor, looking crazy. He's just laid out looking crazy. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on, G. I don't know anymore. I don't know about this one. I really don't know. It's really sad. Like it's really, I don't know. Like I said, it might be time for him to hang him up because I don't even know who is he gonna get a quality fight next. He's not even in. There's so many dudes ahead of him to contend for the title, and yeah, like it's. I don't know who he would fight next. I don't know if people want to see him fight again. Don't exactly know what the issue is or what's gonna happen, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how all that turns out. So then the next fight I want to get into is Khamzat Chimaev. I hope I said his name right. Khamzat Chimaev versus Gerald Meerschaert. I hope I said that right. So this fight was pretty quick. It lasted approximately 17 seconds. Khamzat is a baller. He has that smoking Joe Frazier, that banger in his right hand, as he put down his opponent, Victim, in 17 seconds. He hit him with a right and put him to bed. That's all it was. He hit him with a right hand and put him to bed. End of story. And apparently this dude's price is going up. Khamzat, his price is going up, and this is what he does. And he gets compared to Khabib a lot because I'm assuming they're from the same place, but Khabib's not like knocking dudes out like that. Like I don't think you guys understand how hard you have to hit and how talented of a fighter you have to be putting out dudes with one punch. Especially, and these are dudes who fight for a living. So if you're doing that to them, you're probably him. Yes, him. Look it up if you don't know where that is. That started in Los Angeles, California. Him. So, great card. Those are the only two fights I'm going to talk about today because I want to get into my last topic of the day, which was week 3 in college football. So, college football. Okay, man, I can't wait to get into this. I cannot wait to get into this. This is really, really I'm really excited about this. So, college football, there was a slate of very, very good games that took place yesterday. And I'm going to start off with Clemson. All right. Clemson beat, and I actually talked about this yesterday, and how I don't support the NCAA allowing Clemson and Alabama and Ohio State. Who else made the playoffs last year? Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, and I think Oklahoma. Did they make the playoffs last year? Or Georgia or Oklahoma? One of those teams. One of these teams. I don't like when those teams. Okay, so Clemson played. I know Clemson played Ohio State. Oh, LSU. There we go. LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Bama. All these elite teams, SC, want to throw them in there. Michigan, Wisconsin, like all these teams playing trash schools like the Citadel. I understand why it's a thing, but like, let's stop that. Like, let's please, like, first of all, this game, it was 49-0 at halftime. 49-0 was the final score, but it was 49-0 at halftime. Okay. And I said this yesterday in yesterday's podcast where I was just like, this is kind of dumb. Like, these two schools should not be allowed to get on the same field together. Nothing. No more. Okay. I'm gonna just run through all these games real quick. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence went 8 for 9, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns, 8 for 9, one incompletion. He went 8 for 9, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns. His first touchdown was honestly a thing of beauty. And I will say that the first touchdown would probably be something that's either deflected or intercepted at the next level because of how tight the window was. But it was a thing of beauty. He had 3 touchdowns through the air and 1 touchdown on the ground with the quarterback keeper where he kind of ran over the Citadel's linebacker. Clemson's defense played lights out. They even scored on a fumble recovery. Like, it was not surprised. Clemson dominated. Waste of a game, waste of time. Notre Dame smacked USF. They dominated the game on the ground. They smacked USF 52-0. Dominated the game on the ground and had almost 300 yards on the ground. Like, I think they had somewhere around like 270, 280. Can't remember the exact figure. Junior Sibo Flemster had 127 yards on the ground, and he led the way. And he also added a visit to the end zone with that one. Oklahoma State beat Tulsa 16-7. I'm gonna say this is probably the most boring fucking game yesterday. That shit was trash. Oklahoma State's offense was terrible yesterday. Hot ass cheeks. Okay, these dudes scored 13 points in the fourth quarter, a touchdown and 2 field goals to take control of the game. At the start of the fourth quarter, it was 7-3. They were down. All right. Their offense was terrible. Their passing game garbage, and they were horrible the entire first half. Again, boring ass game, but they came back and I guess they scored a touchdown. Chuba Hubbard scores a touchdown, and then they get 2 field goals, and yeah, game's over. Again, boring ass game. I thank God I didn't watch that. Cincinnati beat Austin Peay 55-20, and I will say this. Cincinnati was just way too much for Austin Peay. They almost had 600 yards of offense. 300 on the ground, 250 through the air. They moved the ball with ease. They had 3 touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. Gary Dokes. I'm sorry, I apologize. Gary Dokes. His stat line wasn't really impressive on the ground, but he did have 3 touchdowns. He had 10 for 20. He had 3 rushing touchdowns. He went 10 for 20 on the ground. So 10 carries, 20 yards. That's pretty poo-poo. But then he actually scored a receiving touchdown on a 4th and 2, which actually was a very good play. Very impressive. Showed his hand skills as well as his speed. And this game also got out of, was just a bad game. At one point, even though the score was 55-20, at one point it was 48-6. Yeah, 48-6. Crazy, huh? UCF beat Georgia Tech 49-21. Miami beat Louisville in the primetime game 47-34, and Pittsburgh beat Syracuse 21-10. All right, so that's going to wrap up today's podcast. I'm really thankful for those of you guys who listened, who tuned in, who watched. Thank you very much. Moving forward, starting next weekend, I believe I'll be highlighting every single aspect in detail. So every single game will have its own video. So game 3 of the NBA Western Conference Finals will have its own video. I'm going to have a video for each and every single matchup in the NFL, every single matchup in NCAA that's worth making a video for, because some of these games are actually trash, and it's not worth me actually taking time out of my day to analyze it or whatever. I'm only going to be talking about top 25 teams. I'm only going to be, but for the NFL and NBA and soccer, obviously I'm going to be talking about the biggest clubs in Europe. Some clubs really don't matter and don't even deserve to be talked about. So be on the lookout for that. I'm actually going to start making YouTube videos very soon. I just bought a new camera. Invest in yourself. That's part of the grind. That's part of the hustle. And yeah, thank you very much for listening, tuning in, tapping in. For those of you who are going to watch this, who don't watch it, I mean, eventually you're going to watch it because you're going to eventually going to tap in. Thank you very much for rocking with me, for listening. My name is Michael DeLue. Thank you very much. You've been listening to Pull Up the Tape. I'm going to keep saying thank you, because I really do appreciate the support I get in the beginning, because I'm going to keep going regardless I get it or not, but it does mean a lot, and I do appreciate it because I understand time is money, and for those of you guys who give me your time, I really do appreciate it. Like this video, leave a comment underneath, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, lets you notified, you get notified every single time I drop a video. Yeah, viral movie, shake the room, let's get it straight up.